Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we are going to discuss function with reference parameters. Now parameters are like variables. So we are on online lecture number 10 of the programming fundamentals course. So in the previous lecture we discussed how to construct and use void function, and then we discover the difference between a value and a reference parameter. Today we are going to explore the reference parameter and the value returning function. So what is a reference variable and what do we mean by a value returning function? So we are going to understand these concepts by using an example, a simple example, and then you will have a better idea how to use reference parameters. So with that, let me go straight to my today's topic. Okay, so what are reference variables or what are reference parameters? Value parameters provide only a one-way link between actual parameters and formal parameters. So we have one-way link between actual parameters, actual variables, and formal variables. A reference parameter receives the address of actual parameter. So you know that we have like actual parameters are like just parameters and formal parameters are the arguments. So you pass some data, so these are called actual parameters, and this data will be cached by some variables, so they are called formal parameters. So that is what we have discussed earlier, and that is the difference between actual and formal parameters. But a reference parameter receive the address of actual parameters. So actual parameters are variable. In case of reference parameter, we do not receive a copy, we receive an address of the actual parameter and we store that address in a reference parameter. Remember, by reference we mean address. So a reference parameter receives the address of actual parameters. A reference parameter can pass one or more values from a function and can change the value of actual parameter. So in contradiction to the actual and formal parameter, reference parameter can pass one or more values from a function and can change the value of actual parameter. So in the case of reference parameter, we can change the value of the actual parameter directly, because we have an address of those actual parameter and that is stored in the reference parameter. Reference parameter are useful in three situations: when you want to return more than one value from a function, when a value of actual parameters needs to be changed, when passing the address would save memory space and time relative to copying a large amount of data. So these are the three situations where you can use reference parameter and they are useful. Once again I return: when you want to return more than one value from a function, when a value of actual parameter needs to be changed, when passing the address would save memory space and time relative to copying a large amount of data. So with that, let us discuss a practical example. So this is example 7.5. Given a course score, a value between 0 and 100. So we have a value between 0 and 100. The following program determines the course grade of a student. So given the course score, we are going to determine the course grade of a student. So we have three functions: the main function, the get score function, and the print grade function. So we have divided our program into three modules. Of course, the main module is mandatory. This is the starting point of your program. Whereas we have added two more functions, user defined functions called the get score and the print grade function. So in the main function, we are going to get course score. We are going to call these two functions: get course score, print course grade. Whereas in get score, we are going to perform three activities: prompt the user for the input, get the input, print the score, course score. Whereas in print grade function, we are going to calculate the course grade and print the course grade. So this is a high level view of our program. We are going to discuss this example in detail. So this is the program. The comment says that this program is about compute grade. This program reads a course score and prints the associated course grade. So we are reading the course score and then we print the associated course grade. So the program starts and we are including necessary header files, iostream. We are using the namespace std. It is your assignment to study about what is namespace. So you read about it, get help from the internet, and then submit this assignment on the Google group. And then we have two functions prototypes. So these are user defined functions. The first prototype, or the declaration, function declaration, is the return data type of a function, which is void. So nothing will be returned by this function. The name is get scored. And then we have a reference parameter because we are using ampersand sign. So the reference parameter is score. Here it means that score will store the address of a variable. So this is not a normal variable. This is a reference variable or a reference parameter. Why? Because this is special. It is going to store the address of a variable. Whereas in the print grade function, we have a simple variable that is only going to store or copy the score. So we have two functions, get score and print grade. Okay. After that, we start the main function. In the main function, we have a variable called course score, and we are going to allow user to enter the course score. So we are displaying a message, line number 1: based on the course score, this program computes the course grade. So based on the course score, we are going to compute the course grade. Okay, and then we are calling these two functions, get score. So get score get called here, and then we are calling the print grade function. So first we are calling the get score. So the program execution stops here, stops in the main function. It stops here, and then we pass the reference or address of the course score. This is that course score. We pass the reference, and then the reference is stored in this variable. So we can directly input the data inside this course score variable because we have an address. So in line number 4, enter the course score. So we enter that score, and then we display a message. The course score is score, in order to tell the user that you have entered this data or this score. Okay, after that we, after getting the course score, we call the print grade function. But this time the print grade passes the course score, and we are using a simple variable score. So score get a copy of the course score, and then whatever is the score, we like this first display a message using cout statement. Line number 7, your grade for the course is. So what is the grade? We perform some calculation using the if else statement. So if we have already talked about this statement. If score is greater than or equal to 90, then print A. It means that you got A grade. Else if score is greater than or equal to 80, then we print B. Else if score is greater than or equal to 70, we print C. Else if score is greater than or equal to 60, we print D. Else for the rest of these courses we print F. So you can also put another check where if a user enters some data that is less than 0 or greater than 100, so you can then print a message here that the data is invalid, the score is not in range, just as we did in the previous example. In this example where we ask the user, and then while here is the check, number of lines is less than 0 or number of lines is greater than 20. So this is the check. So tell the user that you have input a wrong data. So you can also like write same type of statement over here. Okay, so we calculate the grade, and this is the sample run of your program. Line number 1, display based on the course score, this program computes the course grade. Enter the course score. So enter 85, course score is 85, and based on the result of if else if statements, your grade for the course is B, because here if the score is greater than or equal to 80, then we print B. So that is what it is. That is how you work with functions and how you can change the data using a reference parameter. So with that, I am going to check the time. Okay, so we still have a little bit of time, so we can I think we should run this program. So I'm going to start code block. I'm going to create a new project, project console application C++, and then we can write reference parameter. Okay, so let me delete this auto-generated code and let us insert our own code. So let me copy this code, and once again go to the code block, paste it over here, and let us go back to our program to the next slide. Okay, so let me also copy this code, paste it over here, and for the last function, we are going to copy it and paste it over here. Okay, so let me compile it. I hope that there will be no error, and in fact there is no error. So enter this course score. So let me enter 67. So the grade is D. Let me once again run it. and let me enter 45. So your grade for the course is F, but let me run it for the last time. So let me enter 90. So your grade for the course is A. So this example is working. So I think with that I'm going to stop my lecture here, and I'm going to see you in the part B of this lecture, inshallah, in the next lecture. So till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.